A New Hope, Nier Chapter 101 Fan Fiction by Azazyel. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel for listening and patreon.com/Azazyel to read all of Azazyel's stories. Over the next month, I made sure that ever more securely the Oracle apps and services came to take over as the complete overlord of all electronic services, whether it be related to entertainment in movies, games, or even the industrial or civilian sector of Remnant, as all calls and messages went through the Oracle services as the enigmatic company I started. Began buying out manufacturing plants and other places as I began phasing out dust-operated machinery to instead use renewable energy sources like solar, and in heavily secure areas YoRHa would install a Maso reactor. Of course, in that amount of time, many things happened, like the news of Glinda coming out as pregnant with my child after that one dalliance, though not much happened on that front as Glinda was all but married to her job still and had no inclination to slow down till later in her pregnancy, as was the same with Weiss. But more interestingly was the Vital Festival right on the horizon in the next couple of weeks, which led my team to go out into Vale after class to go see if we could go watch the work being put into readying the city of Vale to host the world's largest festival. Vale's already shaping up to be a beautiful host to the Vital Festival. Weiss spoke dreamily as she took in all the iconography about the world supposed to be coming together during the festival. I cannot say that Atlas has a worse one, but Vale is certainly far more convenient due to having the festival goers not having to fight the frigid winds of Atlas's flying city. Weiss, we can all agree that Atlas is too damned cold. Your thermal jacket weighs more than you. Jean deadpanned, and Weiss was about to retort, even going as far as to raise up a finger in reply, but she realized although Jean had exaggerated the weight of her thermal jacket, it still weighed more than her whole outfit, including her weapon and extra dust for her weapon. But that thermal jacket that was rated to withstand the cold of the frigid winds outside of any cover in Atlas's streets, as it was so cursed with cold winds that homeless people weren't a thing on Atlas. No, any homeless person in the flying city of Atlas would freeze to death. Anyway, aside from checking out the work for the festival, didn't you need to pick up some more specialized parts for Crescent Rose and to finally modify Crochet Mars? I asked, with Ruby excitedly nodding while Jean smiled nervously. Sure, it had taken weeks if not months of constant needling by Ruby and several others. But eventually, Jean caved to get her shield upgraded into a proper mecha shift weapon, and of course, Ruby being the overachiever and weapon nut she was, took my ideas of 40k weaponry far too far, especially when some of the lesser laser and plasma-based weaponry had hit the hunter market from YoRHa. When it was realized just how fucking broken Jean's semblance was in augmenting everyone else's, it became clear that Jean was by far more suited to taking on a more supportive role than getting into melee range and wasting her aura, when she could use the aura to boost my semblance so I could just open a portal into space, sucking up any army of Grim. So, Jean was getting her shield turned into a special mount and ammo storage unit for a plasma and laser machine gun. So, Jake, aside from Jean's weapon upgrade, I also wanted to request something. Pyrrha spoke up, and I looked over to her and took in her heavily disguised outfit. Honestly, she looked like she was going to rob a store or something. She had her long red hair up in a tight bun that was further hidden under a head cap, as well as wearing large sunglasses that covered much of her upper face's structure, while the lower part of her face was covered in a face mask. So even as we clearly were hunters in training and people eyed us as spectacles, they looked at Pyrrha with suspicion, as she was beyond disguise that she just looked creepy. But better for the redhead to be looked like a creep than us getting mobbed for walking around with the invincible girl. I ask, and so does Headmaster Ojban, that you don't teleport the enemy combatants anywhere, as that will ruin the ambience of the game, seeing you snap your fingers and there be no fighting at all, Pyrrha said wryly, as she knew all too well how shameless I could be in battle. Fine. I won't cheat, Pyrrha, I said, rolling my eyes while smiling, but as I walked around the city with my team, I was just so relaxed that it reminded me of going to the local mall with my friends in my old life. But while I was just enjoying my time with my lady friends and girlfriend in Weiss, I heard a loud beeping come from my scroll, and with it being silent, I knew it was a message the YoRHa knew I needed to be made aware of, so I pulled out my scroll to see what Commander White wanted from me. I got a meeting with Headmaster Ojban in like 15 minutes, sorry girls, I need to get heading over to Beacon, as it apparently pretty important, I said, giving Weiss a kiss on the head before I got a hug from Ruby and Jean, while Pyrrha gave me the equivalent of a bro hug. Do you think it has something to do with the Atlas armada of battleships on the way? Weiss whispered, as I, with a grunt of effort, made a portal back to Beacon without Jean's semblance boosting my own. No. I don't know, I will see you girls later when you get back to the dorms, I said hurriedly, already feeling the drain on my aura, so I quickly walked through the oval tear in reality that led me to my dorm room. Once I got back into my dorm, I saw A2 and 2B stand up to greet me, but I frowned, seeing as they were in full battle gear. Report, I said as the androids fell in line behind me as we walked through Beacon's empty halls as almost the students were either taking a little vacation to visit family or were hard at work catching up on stuff they missed due to an injury or something. Ojban has formally invited you as the head of the Oracle conglomerate to meet with his own cabal of confidants. It's clear that he is pushing to integrate you into his shadow war with Mommy Salami 69. A 2 reported, only giggling slightly at the end, and I still hadn't gotten her back for the bullshit of adding the 2 of us on our messaging apps and crap. Well, let's go meet with the local Illuminati then, I said as I entered the elevator, knowing I was safe from any assassinations, as despite Ojban's watching eyes surrounding Beacon. YoRHa at my own insistence had hidden force multipliers and a 3 dozen YoRHa combat models that were in stasis around and within Beacon could reach me in a matter of a couple minutes at most. Just in case. I wasn't going to put my life in anyone's hands, and Ojban wasn't even my friend or anything. He was only an ally as he helped my YoRHa get their feet off the ground here in Remnant.